Alright YouTubers, so Dell Inspiron 3670 GTX 1650 in it. We've got 16 gigs of RAM, Samsung EVO 960 250 or 256 gigabyte M.2 NVMe SSD. Upgraded CPU in my opinion to the i3-9100, at least for certain games. This will run better than what was in here before. And that is about it. I don't have any hard drives. Now the video card, they want you to have a PSU that'll support System Power 300. The PSU in here is 290. I don't have all the extra peripherals in here, so so far we've been pretty good, knock on wood. But what I'm going to do in this video is just give you an idea of FPS on this game. We'll do some other games with this setup, and I'm going to start at max settings basically. So we're going to do 4K Ultra. We're going to see what the frame rates per second are. Then I'm going to do high, medium, low, drop down to 2K Ultra, blah blah blah, until we get 1080p. And if we are above 60 frames per second, 1080p Ultra, I may stop at that point. I will probably get killed in the first 5 seconds because I'm not very good at Fortnite, but that's not really why you guys are here. At least hopefully you're not. If you want tips on how to play Fortnite, you did not come to the right place. Okay, so we want to go epic all the way across. We want to show our FPS, motion blur is off, VSync is off, and we don't want a frame rate limiter. I don't think we're even going to come close to this, maybe if we're lucky when we get lower. Alright, so that's what we're starting with initially. Let's get some. So if you guys have the Dell Inspiron or Vostro 3670, obviously you come to this channel for a lot of my upgrade videos most likely, or you've wondered, hey, does the GTX 1650 work with this computer? And so far so good. I did have a benchmark video out there so you can kind of see a lot of times when you don't have enough power, when you're doing the benchmark, which will tax the system, you will see the computer turn on and off, which usually means you don't have enough power. Alright, so we are not going to be able to play this, folks, at 4K Ultra. You see up top there, we are about 12 frames per second, 11. This is terrible. So I don't think it's going to get any better, and this isn't playable. So we'll go ahead and change it now while we got a chance. We'll go down to high. So I'm expecting 15 frames per second. Okay, well, until we get down on the ground, we won't really know. So let's get down on the ground as fast as we can. And the fastest way to do that is to land on something high up in the air. Or not. Sorry. Uh-oh, who's that guy? Shit. This is why I suck at this game. Come on. Oh, don't run off, you coward. I bet he comes back and kills me. And guess what? He got that thing. Oh, there's a hoverboard. So we are 25 frames per second. I was a little off, folks. I need a gun. We can't kill anybody without a gun, right? What do you think? You think there's something in here? There's bullets in there. How do I get off this damn thing? Use exit hold. I want off. There we go. Alright. Alright, we got a gun finally. So, you know, in person actually this is, to me it's somewhat playable, but, you know, my son would disagree with me. So, let's go with medium. 4K medium. Good news is I think we're going to be able to play 2K at pretty good settings with this. Now I guarantee a Battlefield 5 or something else, you know, that actually maybe was meant a little more to play at a higher resolution. Won't be playable, but at least for here we are. Oops. I need to get me an RGB keyboard. I'm supposed to have a company that's going to give me some of that stuff to demo, do some reviews, but that hadn't happened yet. So I'm playing in the dark still, folks. All right, so it's time to switch over to a gun. All right, so oh, somebody shot me. What a surprise. Alright, so for here on out, we're going to watch these other people play. But you see frame rates were between 38 and 49. And, you know, occasionally it jumps up higher, sometimes it jumps down lower. That's actually pretty playable. Let's shut all this crap off. Obviously, you know, you could change some of these things. And keep others. Alright, so right now we're cranking 70 to 80s. Now we dropped into the 60s. So definitely 4K is playable at low settings and medium, in my opinion. Now if I turn on, just to do it, if I turn that back on, we're actually still doing pretty good. But that's not really, surprisingly that doesn't tax the system. So you can play around with different things, you know, figure out which one of these is killing the game. Maybe it's view distance. Turn a couple more on. Yeah, now it dropped down to 15. So you see that is having quite an effect. All right, let's turn everything back on and go up to 2K. Oops, wrong direction. $1440. Okay, so 2560 by 1440. I'm going to apply that. And we have to blow our screen back up. Alright, so I'm going to change the settings on the screen. Just to make this as big as it could be. I so hate that thing. Alright, so we're maybe we're at 2K. Let's go back. Alright, 2K, Epic. And so, you know, minimums really for gameplay. Most games are 30 frames per second. And we are actually, you know, slightly above that, 33 to 37. Of course, not too many people like playing at this frame rate. It's just not high enough for them. It'll be a little too laggy. So let's go ahead and bump this up. So far we have 4K low, maybe medium was playable, but definitely low. We go 2K high. All right, so we're 40s, 50s. I don't even know if you guys can see it. I'll try and blow up that part of the screen. In case you don't know where the FPS is, it's up there. So basically high 40s up into the mid 50s. So for most people that's pretty darn playable. Drop down to medium. Medium, we're definitely going to be happy. Yeah, this is great. In the 70s and 80s, of course, we're not on the ground yet. This person died. Alright, so we're tracking another player. They're on the ground, so 90s, 100s. Alright, so I would say this is pretty good. And just to show it, actually, you know, a couple of these we could turn back on. And probably have, enter back into the 50s, 40s and 50s, so. You drop those back down one. Thing is to find, you know, which setting visually is the best for you and gives you the highest frame rate. So this is really playable. It's over 70 to 90 frames per second. It's pretty good. All right, let's go back to what I was doing. So 2K low. And we're cranking. It's all over the place. There are the occasional times where it drops way lower, but for the most part, it's well into the hundreds. As high as 196 I've seen, 200, dropping down to 128. And there was a couple that went into less than 100, but really high frame rate. This would be pretty smooth. All right, so let's go to 1080p. Going the wrong way. All right, let's turn Epic back on. Okay, there we go. I keep forgetting I can do that. All right, so once again, the monitor. I changed the monitor. A lot of settings in between these that we could have tried. All right, Epic. I change this again. 1620. All right, let's do it. So, right off the bat, the range is 38 to 56. For the most part, it's staying in 50s. So, this is super playable. I don't like the overall quality personally, or the resolution. But it's because I've gotten spoiled with some of the graphics cards I have. But yeah, this is very playable. 1080p, almost in that sweet spot. I would say, you know, for a couple people, turn that down, and you're probably right there on the money. Okay, maybe that wasn't the right one. Just occasionally jumping up into the 60s. It's all over the place. 50s, 60s. Yeah, if you turn a couple of these to high, they're probably right on the money. And All right, so really the game is a 1080p high to a mixture of high and ultra. To be honest with you, it's not completely epic. So if I just do all high across here, we're in the 80s, 90s, dropping occasionally into the 60s and 70s, but overall it's staying in the 70s. So that is pretty darn good. Drop down to medium, and you are well into the hundreds, easily into the hundreds. So that is pretty darn good as well. And I'm just trying to get this moving. Alright, so almost, yeah, it's hitting 200. I've set the frame limit for 200. So GTX 1650 is very capable. Huge improvement. If I took this out, which I think I will, because why not do this with UHD 630 graphics, so you guys can compare it. I'll do a separate video, but yeah, this is definitely a huge upgrade. This is the basically the best graphics card you can get in here without upgrading your PSU. All right, so thanks for checking out the video, and check out the UHD 630 video, integrated graphics, when I do that one. Thank you.